You're listening to the Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net. freedomtalkradio.net.
Alright, we're truly on air now. Show 267, and it is Thursday, February the 19th, 2015, from Toogoom, Queensland, Australia, the home of the Christ Brian Leonard Go Lightly Marshall, who says to the world this day...
Not a lot.
Not even good morning.
Oh, well,
oh, good evening.
Morning. Or a good morning.
Good morning. Alright, babe, what have you got to share?
Well, nothing much really.
Oh, we do this every day. It's getting boring.
I did have a look at the... I think it's pretty well established now that what I've been saying for whatever, how many decades. They have actually now concluded that it is April the 3rd.
33 AD. You mean you're referring to the crucifixion, aren't you?
Yes. And the reason for that, they've even come... They're brilliant, these people. Right? They've even come up that it was a red moon. And an earthquake. And they have done studies now that find around the Dead Sea that there was an earthquake.
Yes.
In that period.
Yes. It's amazing how science backs up.
So, we have another red moon coming up on the 4th of April. So it's a good number, 4-4.
I haven't had a mocha this morning, by the way.
Want to have one?
No.
Now let me just read it. Not really that important or exciting.
Go for it.
What I did was at 3 p.m, which is thought to be the date of the
time.
Death.
The time
on the cross.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about April the 3rd, 33 AD at 3 p.m.
Yeah. What I was doing basically, my niece, who is her and I have been in the family. Her and I have been friends.
Yes.
And she's admired me for a very long time, and she always thought that the strange uncle was off doing all these wonderful things around the world and adventures and an athlete and state champion, high jumper and sprinter and all this kind of stuff. And she went into athletics herself.
Yes.
And anyhow, I hadn't seen that since she was about 8 years of age. So we met up again after she come back, and I was talking about yesterday how I lined
the
up.
miracle of Lily from...
I'll do that for my family if they believe in me. If they don't, they can get I was nearly going to get...
How shall we fuck off?
Which direction shall we fuck off, Master? Okay, so the crucifixion, April 3rd, 33 AD, death at 3 p.m. So, okay, fair enough. Jupiter was directly overhead, rise to set was 843 minutes. Now, I like to make a comment. A lot of people think Jesus come to fulfill the law. No. Jesus come to destroy the law.
Yes.
This is the last sacrifice, the Lamb of God.
Yes.
Because what they used to do was, you can say go and rape a little child or something, no problem. And you're taking the priest. Because with the Talmud, you can do all that sorts of stuff. Why don't you don't do it in your own town? You can go somewhere else and do it. Go and rape
go to
child,
another city to do evil. That's part of the Talmud.
You ought to go, if you're going to do evil, do it somewhere else so they don't know. Right? Like, don't make a public display of it, just go and do it across the way a little bit. And you go see the priest and you say, listen, I've done the wrong thing here, right? What's that? Well, I raped a little child of his next door neighbours. You know, well, you shouldn't have done that. Should have went down the street and done it.
Mm. So close to home, you idiot.
It's all right to do it. Just don't do it close to home.
Mm.
So what are we going to do about it? Well, bring in, I don't know, a bullock? No. Make it a lamb. That'll do. Your best lamb, got to be unblemished, so the one will get the highest price. Because the lamb, when they cut its throat and ate it, if it was completely unblemished, it got more money in the marketplace than a lamb that's got a spot on it, so to speak. Right? So you bring in your best lamb. Yeah, right, no worries. Then what? Well, now we're going to take the blood of the lamb is going to absorb your sin. Yeah. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to put a spot of blood on the lamb's blood. We'll sacrifice it. Cut its throat. And your sin is going to be in the blood of the lamb. And, just between you and I, God is such a stupid asshole that although he might have created the universe, he ain't smart enough to see through the blood. That is your sin that's now in the lamb. Really? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do it. So they take a little bit of blood of the lamb, they put it on the earlobe, which is very important. You've got to put it on the earlobe, on your thumb and on your big toe. Whoa. That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Give me the lamb. So the priest gets the lamb, he's going to sell the bloody meat, right? He's doing all right. And the dummy who thinks he's been forgiven because blood is the covering of the sin in the lamb, that he's been able to put his sin into the lamb and they can't see it. Now, I thought that was quite clever.
It's a rot, isn't it? That's what it boils down to.
So Jesus, myself, the last sacrifice, the Lamb of God. Remember I said the lamb has only teeth in the bottom?
Yes.
The front?
Yes.
And it tears the grass up?
Yes.
So they got to get rid of the teeth in the lamb, the last sacrifice. So it was more brutal than you can possibly imagine. There's other things I haven't going to talk about, right? Which I haven't told you. Now, okay, so let's go through the numbers. So we had the crucifixion, April the 3rd, 33 AD, death at 3 p.m. Jupiter was directly overhead. Now, Jupiter is 88,800 miles across, and you know how significant it is in my existence today.
Yes.
When I at 8880 days old, which is Matthew 1:23, Greek Gematria for that verse with Emmanuel in it. When I become a father in Port Alberni, Canada, and the sunrise to sunset was 888 minutes. So you see how that, most of you people out there know that story. I won't go over it again. Alright, so we've got Jupiter overhead for 8:43 minutes. This is over Jerusalem. So, what does 8:43 mean? Well, the word in Greek is autokariostos. There's a mouthful here. Basically means automatic. And it's derived from 846 and 2632. Self-condemned. So the star Jupiter, representing Jesus, Greek Gematria, 888, useless, 888, is condemning himself. He set him up. Even Pontius Pilate, if you've read the report of Pilate, said, look, if you don't stop doing this, they're going to get you.
You are so ticking them off. You're making them so angry.
So, that is why I said nothing when they're calling to release the Son of God, which was the word Barabbas. The son of Abba.
The son of the
So they just happened to have a Barabbas locked up. Release Barabbas. We bring Barabbas like the life of Brian, right? Yeah, we got one of them. Okay, release Barabbas. Release Barabbas. He had a list apparently. Okay, so we go on. The tomb itself closed at 6 p.m. Now, all I was interested in here was the star directly above, which is Jupiter. Directly above.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so it closes at 6 p.m. The star directly above at that moment was Saturn. It's 11:11 rise and set at 1:13. Well, 1:13 is Lord. Right. 8:42 is to be content. Like I got you. Done deal.
Well done.
Well done. Mars was 844. Now this is the god of war in Roman mythology. and it is automatic. They did it automatic. They couldn't help themselves, right? So it is automatic, spontaneous, of own accord. This is why it says in John 8:44, you are of the father, the devil. So here it is, right? Uranus was 8:02 minutes, and 8:02 is treacherous to a compact, which is a covenant, and it is the covenant breaker. So Jesus, myself, was breaking the covenant with Moses. Okay.
The bullshit.
Now the moon was a full moon, and it's a blood moon, which can only occur when the moon is full and passes through the Earth's shadow, allowing only the red spectrum to illuminate the moon's surface, bouncing off the moon. Because all light from the moon is bounced off the sun. So the sunlight hits the moon, but because the light coming from the moon has to pass through the atmosphere of the Earth on that certain angle, that means it's red. Saturn, 842, Mars 844, Uranus 802, and Jupiter 843. That was all above, and that was for a total of 3331 minutes. Now we got 33 AD, we got the third day, and actually it is the month after 3 months. So we just had 3 months, then you go into the third day of the next month in 33 AD. So that's saying it 333 and 1. 1 is of course Alpha, which is God. It means a transferal to heaven, a change, a translation. Translation in biblical terms mean a changing of the soul to the Holy Spirit and gone, right? Now in that's Greek. In Hebrew, to make one's bed, as in to lie down, which is make one's bed and lie down in the tomb. Jesus set it up. I set it up. To do all that is all perfectly aligned in the stars, and all the numbers comply. And there it is that the closing of the tomb is set directly above. And as I said before, all these numbers are saying that it was a complete and utter setup. They went for it, and that ended the Mosaic law. However,
the Mosaic law,
that as well. There's two of them. I get you every time, don't I? Every time you bite. All right. So we have the Mosaic law being destroyed. This is what the new covenant is all about. The New Testament is a covenant. It's done away with the Old Testament.
Because it was bullshit.
It was bullshit, I know. It should have ended right there.
Now, what has happened today, and what I have had to explain to Yah, because he has trouble comprehending why the insanity of Christianity today. He has not been in a church long enough. He has visited to judge.
See the stupidity, right?
See the stupidity of it, but he didn't get it. Why? Why has it fallen to what it is today? Well, I had 14 years in the stupidity of the church. That was.
Does that not tell you something? It took you 14 years and me 3 minutes.
Totally.
However, what a bunch of wankers
the 14 years that I spent in it gave me a really good understanding of the scriptures. And I remember when I first took actually it was outside, it wasn't even inside a church, but the moment I began teaching. I began teaching from the book of John. Turns out it came from me anyway. No wonder I understood it so well. And I began explaining the scriptures right from the word go. People just look at me like, and the pastor in particular, who was a humble man. You're right. Anyway, but that was part of my journey. I had to spend 14 years, oh God. And then when I came out under the direction of my angels, they said to me, now you've seen the deception. That's for sure. So I've had to explain to Yar why it is that the Christian world think this way. Okay, you've got a movement. It's called
Bowel movement.
a bowel movement, totally, and it's called Messianic Jews, and Christianity is raised out of Judaism. So this is the way Christians think, because this is the way they are taught. By those who don't know any better anyway, they're all idiots, especially if you've spent years in a college of theology, studying it, and divinity, blah, blah, blah. They believe that Jesus fulfilled the law of Moses. They believe that he was the final sacrifice. His blood now replaces the blood of the animal that was used to atone for the sins of those under the law, as in the law of Moses. And that the law of Moses was a teacher. So before the law of Moses, there was no sin, because the law brings in now the standard by which all men, and we're talking about the Hebrews at the time and all the rest of it, are now judged by the law. So Jesus comes along and he is the perfection of the law, and he fulfills the law, because the law itself was so wonderful and marvelous. This is what they think. But it was only the teacher. So when he says that not one jot nor one tittle will be changed, he was talking about of the law. Well, they all think that it was so wonderful and marvelous that nothing will be checked, because he came to fulfill the law. What they don't understand is that he came to destroy it, because it was so pathetic. He fulfilled it all right to demonstrate to them how idiotic, pathetic, stupid it was. Moses' 10 commandments, there were 2. Jesus, there's 2 commandments. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, body, and strength. And love your neighbour as yourself. Pretty simple, isn't it? He said, all the law and all the prophets hang on these 2 things. Because if you love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and your neighbour as yourself, you're not going to be stealing or committing adultery or murdering, whatever. Those 2 commandments. So he goes to the cross, as the planets and the stars are describing, to break the Mosaic covenant, because it was so pathetically stupid, and it had all the people tied up in knots. And this is what the Jews who call themselves Jews and not at the time, the Pharisee, Babylonian, Talmudic Jews of the Sanhedrin at the time, were holding over the people to oppress them. So he was the covenant breaker. And he goaded them into crucifying him with help from Mary Magdalene along the way, and Lazarus and all the rest of it. It was all a total setup, because he had to go to the cross on a certain day, April the 3rd, 33 AD. Remember, time is measured by the distance that our solar system travels. The sun pulls the planets behind it. We travel at 69,000 kilometers per second, which is 43,200 miles per hour. That's how time is measured, how far we have traveled. So knowing that these things have to, it's a moment in time that these things have to occur. So he goaded them into putting them on the cross. He took Martha Magdalene as his wife, the younger sister of Mary Magdalene. She could not conceive, and it was just short of the 3 years in the Essene law. Why? Because he had to be certain that his seed was left behind in the womb of Martha. to perpetuate the royal bloodline of Judah, the Essene bloodline, royal bloodline of Judah. He was the king of Judah. Now, the slang term for the Judahites was Jews. So there was this great, massive confusion about who the Jews were and all the rest of it. And the Jews that were calling themselves Jews and were not. Babylonian, Pharisee, Talmudic, which is what you have back today, the evil. You are of your son. You are the son. The sons of Cain, as in your father. The devil, as in Cain, was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. And as you saw, John 8:44, meaning spontaneous of self, of course. So, Christians today believe that as Jesus, he came to fulfill the perfection of the law, and they are even going back to it now in their messianic ministries. They believe that Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. Again, spilling his blood as the atonement for their own sins. God cannot see blood, cannot see the sins of man in the messianic period through the blood of Jesus, etc., etc., etc. And the gospel of grace that has grown up through the perverted teachings of the self-appointed apostle Paul, who was not with Jesus. He came 15 years later.
He was a Pharisee.
And he was a Pharisee. He was an infiltrator.
Which is what they do today.
Yes. So his teachings became the foundation. Now, why the Catholic Church? Catholic simply meaning universal. It was all about Peter, the first primate apostle, if you like, who is back in Pope Benedict XVI today. It was on Peter himself and Peter's recognition, thou art the Christ, when he asked, who do you say that I am? Thou art the Christ. So it was upon Peter and Peter's heavenly download, Kundalini moment, thou art the Christ. He says to him, well, only my Father. Now, where was the Father residing when Jesus said that to him? Well, he was within himself. He was in the body of flesh. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. The Father and I are one, the one and same soul. So it's pretty, think of it this way, all of you have lived before. So you in your early 30s, you have not yet given birth or fathered any children, whatever, in your physical form. So when speaking to the speaker, it was differentiating between that time and this time now, when he would be grown into the fullness of the Father, that he looks like a father, he looks like the old man, gorgeous as he is, the Ancient of Days. And that's what the image of the Shroud of Turin is all about. It captured the soul of the Father, the old man, to be recognized today with the age of technology. They cannot explain it, but it is the photograph of the soul of Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. This time worn on the outside, that is the Holy Ghost, worn over the flesh body of Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall today. The new name and the name written that only he would know. That's the resurrected soul of Jesus. That's why he said the warnings before he went to the cross, that every sin would be forgiven men who blasphemed and spoke against the Son of Man. However, the unpardonable and unforgivable sin was to even speak against the Holy Ghost. And he qualified by adding, in this world and in the world to come. So he was saying the Holy Ghost, when? From the resurrection. In that world, meaning the world of 33 AD, April the 3rd, April the 5th, Jerusalem time, the resurrection. Still in that world. What is the world? The geopolitical construct. So the Holy Ghost, worn over the resurrected body, still known as Jesus as that time. And in the world to come is the prophecy of today, where it is fulfilled. the Holy Ghost, the resurrected soul of Jesus, worn over the flesh body, today known as Brian Linda Golightly Marshall, born of the most royal woman from her womb. April the 6th, 1943, the resurrection anniversary, 1910 years earlier. The Holy Ghost is within the womb of Daphne Golightly to be born again to the earth.
So, bobbing back and forwards across the equatorial line of the equator would be something similar to a pendulum swinging back and forwards. So, looking at horizontally, it's going past the upright of the clock, back and forwards, back and forwards. But it's only going to do it for a period of time because it is done by weight. When you have a pendulum clock, you set the weight and it'll run for a certain amount of time. The time and speed at the date of the resurrection of the earth around the sun was, in miles per hour, 66,666.666 miles per hour.
Miles per hour. Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't change. What does change is the speed of the solar system moving back. So it drops south of the equatorial line, it travels down, it slows up, finally stops, and then starts coming back the other way. As it's coming back, it starts to accelerate. So by the time it hits here, it's doing 69,000 kilometers per hour. Now, in miles, for your Americans or English, that is 42,874.612, etc., miles per hour. The 4287 means a time appointed. So, in other words, when it reaches that speed, because it's accelerating until it reaches the equatorial line, as it passed the equatorial line, it's doing that speed. That's what I did all the calculations on, which was the 11th of December 2011. So as it crosses that point, it's doing that speed. So that number is time appointed in miles per hour. 69 is my name, right? And in Hebrew, it is destruction, destroy. That's what it means. So it was a time appointed by the movement of the sun northward, which has a nuclear fusion rate of converting hydrogen to helium at 657 million tonnes per second, right? Which is how many times the word Lord is found in the New Testament. So that is why the King James Bible is a Catholic Bible. The Catholics don't realise that, they all think it's bullshit, but it is a Catholic Bible because it was anointed king had done it.
Yes.
Right? For the first time in history.
Who was Catholic?
Who was Catholic. That was King James.
Yeah.
And the greatest playwright of all time, William Shakespeare, he assisted him. And he was a man responsible for getting him the job by embarrassing Elizabeth, who was dying for a 2-week period. And he said, if you want to go to heaven, you better
repent. Do this.
And nominate. This is for beheading. This is her cousin, actually. Who was the true queen? Right? With Mary, Queen of Scots. So her son, out of repentance, she made James VI of Scotland, who had been the king ever since she was a baby boy, because Mary had been chased out. She had also married the French king and inherited, of course, France when he died. So that is what she brought to the France. And France is still part of the Union Jack. They may not think so because of the stupid Jewish thing that they come up with the French Revolution. But the reality is it's still, it's still all to do with the Union Jack. It's the flag of England. So that's what it's all about. Still got France on it. But you can't get out of it. So, you Frenchmen out there, I'm sorry about that. If you don't like the British, well, it doesn't matter. You're all under the same flag. It's all under the same flag of Christ. Right? Regardless of what you think. And it's Catholic. So, get along with that. Yeah, so, what?
I was thinking about when we were in Rome and then we went to the United Kingdom, spent our time there and then caught the ferry to land in Calais. I remember the warning from Kim. Remember, she was very concerned. Kim landing in France. Kim has insight. She's connected.
Not religious at all.
Not at all religious. very psychic, clairvoyant, the whole ball and wax, but from the heavenly realm. She's confirmed many things with us and seen things ahead of time, etc. But anyway, I remember she was saying that the greatest danger for us, what we're doing, who we are, is France.
Well,
and to be very careful.
Absolutely. Because I don't care about that. But
no, we say, well, bring it on.
They pulled us up and arrested us for maybe some traffic infringement. That's about as all they could do. Anything other than that, they got no chance, right? They'd be destroyed on the spot.
Yeah, her, well, totally. I mean...
Well, she didn't know.
No. But she has the sense of the evil watching. What she gets is she sees what is watching and the darkness of them.
So you can say what we're saying, especially condemning the Jews. Lovely people, aren't they?
Swedge.
I really do.
Swedge rhymes with reg. Or the Swedge.
Lovely people.
The Swedge wedges we have.
Chosen people.
We go to the RSL and sometimes have a bowl of wedges. Dipped in sour cream and hot chili sauce. What's that?
The wedges we get in the club is very well cooked.
Oh, totally barbecued.
But they are lovely people just the same. Right? We have a lot of jokes about them, calling them this and calling them that, we're going to do this and do that. But in fact, they are the chosen people.
Well, they are chosen.
They're self-chosen.
By their God.
John 8:44, read that.
Of your father, the devil. Devil, 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 and all the Christian world like John Hagee.
Yeah, you say, why don't they shut us down? If they shut us down, they don't hear what I'm saying. I'm very, very, I don't really care one way or the other. But I've been slamming them up so long, and they've tried to kill me so many times, right? They've come up with all sorts of ways to do it and don't work, right? I expected drones to be coming over and putting a bloody couple of slugs into us, right? I'm hoping so. Right, send your drone down with a bomb on it, no problem. We'll see.
A little laser strike.
So that's how easy they could do it. And Australia is probably bordering on one of the most evil countries on earth.
Well, they have used drones for police work just inland, not far from here.
So they got them. So it's no problem sending a drone over here. And in fact, it could be controlled from the United States.
Jonas rather.
Satellite.
Jonas rather up. Like, he was really upset this morning. He took a photograph of a Sydney newspaper. Let me go back to it. The advertisements, the classified ads page. Oh, here it is. And he said, so it's the Sydney Morning Herald or whatever it is. It might be the Telegraph. I don't know which page. But he says in capital letters, welcome to Australia, country run by Jews, false. Jewish-owned newspapers legally allowed to sell women next to cars. Somebody's sister, daughter, mother. But not a Jew amongst these girls. Destroy these Jews, every last one of them. And so he's got the photograph of the page on the... this side you've got the cars listed. And this side you've got women in almost naked. 50% off. In Sydney, yep. And then you just come and have a look. And then liaisons with these women in lingerie, bikini lingerie and stockings up to the thighs. Oh.
Well, you're going to buy a car and walk out with a tart.
Well, that's the implication. They're selling cars on one side, but they're selling women in the newspapers. 50% off. Phone numbers, liaisons up the top there. Same. What do you call them? Half-clad tarts. 50% off. There you go. Half-clad tarts.
They're like convertibles. Only the Jews would dream that up. Go into a place of selling cars and they've got half-naked women in there, you can buy one of those instead. So it's a brothel and car sales in one.
Yeah, totally.
So you can walk in here, it doesn't appear to be walking into a brothel, you're walking in to buy a car, to look at the car, And then in the back you've got a woman you can buy for...
Oh, it's just the patheticness of the papers. But they've always done it with the...
And they take credit cards. Yeah.
And then underneath you've got Oprah Winfrey.
Lovely lady.
Followed by millions of mindless.
Oh, what a woman.
This clip shows her racist side. Oprah believes that older white people are the problem with America today and that they need to die so that racism can end. That must be aimed at us. Here we go.
That's where the word nigger applies in a derogatory term. She is a nigger. Now, I've worked with Africans, and the word nigger comes from Niger, country, and it means black.
Yes.
Right? I've worked with lots of African, lovely people. Right? A lot of time for them. I felt very sorry for their situation, in fact. Right? But they aren't niggers. Oprah Winfrey is a nigger. Obama is a nigger. Right? In a derogatory term.
Then we have German Chancellor Angela Merkel said Monday
she's a nigger.
That her government will do everything possible to make sure Jewish sites are secure.
She's a Jew.
We are glad and thankful that there is Jewish life in Germany again, Merkel said in Berlin. And we would like to continue living well together with the Jews who are in Germany today.
We can always use them for kindling, I guess.
Absolutely. Somebody makes a comment, the day will come when the toleration of the Jewish people will run out. May God help them. No, he won't.
I will. I'll help them into the nearest oven.
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Alright, so...
Where they're going is worse than a barbecue, I'm going to say.
Now here also, this is revamped by Jonas. This has now several years old, and this is the Catholic bishop who was excommunicated by Benedict. I think his name is Richard Williamson, I'm not sure, but anyway, not a single Jew died in a gas chamber.
That's the English fellow. He's right.
Well, that's exactly right. We know, and
they've been saying that in Germany they'll get you arrested in 5 years jail.
Somebody has gone to...
Williamson, his name is.
Yes. Somebody has gone to jail in Canada for denying the Holocaust on their Facebook page. They've been sentenced to jail in Canada. So, the Holocaust.
So that's where Putin let his guard down when he said that
Yes.
about the Holocaust. He agrees with it that it happened, right? I mean, it goes to show you how naive and where he's actually coming from. His father, of course, was a communist.
Yeah. Now, just this came from Pierre, who posted this, and then Diana shared it, but we've read it before, but just reminding people the term Nazi, along with Nazism, is a political epithet invented by Conrad Hayden, who died on the 18th of June 1966 during the 1920s as a means of denigrating the National Socialist Democratic Party. And National Socialism, for the term Nazi, was used by the enemy of National Socialism. So this Archbishop seems to be trying to gain some kind of, credibility into the horrors of genocide that was inflicted upon a civilization. It should be noted that Jew-controlled Churchill, the monster who ordered the Dresden slaughter, was knighted, and the rest is history. The cold-blooded sadism of the massacre, however, is brushed aside by his biographers, who still cannot bring themselves to tell how the desire of one madman to impress another one led to the mass murder of up to 500,000 men, women and children. Now, Churchill, it is reported, I think it's part of the diaries of one who was in the meeting, the number of times that Hitler himself proposed peace with England. We don't have to go to war. I don't want to do this. How about this, that and the other? We just go all back to... It was all over the land grab from the Versailles Treaty. Hitler wanted to gain back the land that had been unfairly carved off. The German population was expanded. He needed old Germany back. So there were a number of peace proposals sent to England, and the reaction by the ones who were actually in the meeting when this final offer came in was before all the blitzkrieg bombing started, etc. The reaction on Churchill's face was, he's got this telegraph proposal of peace from Hitler, and the one witnessing watched him, and they said that he read, and for an instant it was like, yes, okay. You know, like a way out, if you like. He said, then the face changed. It was like a light switch went on. All right, if I go ahead with this peace plan, what becomes of me? There's no need for me in this position that he was put by the Jews. So for an instant there was that flicker, yes, and then back to no way, Jose.
People like him are in hell in a very horrid situation. Their worm will never die. Other people who die, like say the evils of my brother, he goes to hell for a period of time and then is just snuffed out. It's all about, would you have that piece of shit back on the earth? Well, of course you wouldn't. You would have Churchill or any of those people. So when they die off, they've got to be punished for what they do. And it's self-inflicted. So they go into a hell state, and it is horrors which they cannot imagine. Horrors they cannot imagine. My brother, for example, was in a state of utter desperation, blackness. He got a taste of it before he died. He'd faint and fall over backwards and hit his head on the ground.
Right.
Just like a big man, right? Come down, crash. Right? I tried in vain with that man.
You did.
It was relentless. It makes no difference. So now the salvation of the family, in that sense, is only the children and Michelle, which I spoke about before.
Your niece, Michelle.
My niece, Michelle. That is getting part of it. She actually asked me what I thought of my sister's death, and I was into an uncontrollable tap dance for quite a while, wasn't I? I actually wore myself out and done my back end a bit. Anyhow, and a pair of shoes. And when I got back to her, I said, "Hey, I'm glad the bastard's dead. She's one of the most evil bastards of all time." I was sweating like. This is a happy day, right? So the age that, well, then she was curious to see what the stars said. She knows why I do everything. So I sent it back to her on the stars, and the difference in age between her and my brother, half brother, was only 33 days, approximately. And what they were in years was wickedness. That's what they were, both the same age approximately, but in years, wickedness. So she then said, "Well, what does it say for the father?" And I said, "Well, I've got to know the exact moment he died, because I get the exact moment he died." Have we read that as yet?
For your father?
For her father.
Oh. No. I don't think we have.
We can do that tomorrow.
All right.
But it is extraordinary how it nailed him exactly what he was as a human. And I don't leave a lot of way to say as a human being, as a entity representing the devil. Human being is too good a word. So as I say, I have no qualms about throwing my stepbrother and sister into hell. No problem. Nor do I have any qualms about throwing my own children into hell. So what kind of father would do that? The Heavenly Father. That's it. I'm looking at it from the point of view that, okay, there's offspring there that have created such abominations that defies and opened my eyes up to things that I never even dreamed were possible. That it was so evil, I never even thought it could happen, and that it was done to me. It ain't going to happen to any man again. So it's a crucifixion. I don't want any man to go to the cross. I'll take up the cross and follow me. It is to appreciate it.
Yes.
Right? To understand it and then live by it. It doesn't mean to go get nailed to a cross. So I experienced these things with these women that I was married to and had to, and then the children of those offspring. On the one hand, it's so horrible. The crucifixion pales in. I would rather have a crucifixion than to go through that again with those children. Just the children. Right? So what's it all mean? Well, basically, it gave me insight into what we're all about, and that is to prepare a perfect Adamic human race based on the white race that was supposed to get it done in the first place for everybody else on earth, whether it be Negro, Chinese or anyone else. It's the white race that was supposed to have done it and of course failed miserably. And then if you look at the world today, the white race is just, they're total bastards. Right? What they exploit India, for example, allow the stupidity of the Indian religion, for example. And no matter where they go, and I've been in their tracks to see what white men do, holy shit, it's unreal. Right? Makes you proud to be an Australian, right? Yeah, like shit it does. Right? So we're going to do this for the suffering is all to do with getting it right, cleaning it all out, making a perfection of the children to come in the future, of the right genetics, getting them done. We're talking white here, and that overflows into the other races. It's all to do with the white religion, because that's what it is. And then when that's perfected, then we can then mirror it in a creation right throughout the universe. Get it right. And there will be millions upon millions of planets with people that are in an instant creation.
So the earth is the template.
The earth is the template.
The testing ground for the soul.
That's why it's so important. That's why the Jews are fighting so hard against it. Because they know they ain't going to the other planets. They know that this is it. This is the end of them. And I'm very pleased to be the one doing it. I would do it all again. I've often said I wouldn't go through it again, but I would. If I had to do it 10,000 times, I'd do it 10,000 times. Because you've got to get rid of these bastards. I wish they'd come and throw me in jail or do something like that. Because prisoners in jail, man, they're Jesus type people. When I was thrown in jail when I came back to Australia, I said to the woman who was Narelle Marshall, her name was, believe it or not, was the legal attorney, and I said, I don't want you. I said, I want to go to jail. Right? Well, this is sort of staring into space. What do you mean? I said, well, they have great Australian food out in Long Bay Jail. She said, what do you mean? I said, Chinese food, I love it. I said, you'd be surprised how many men out of 5,000 men will want to listen to what I got to tell them. Right? So I was going before the judge.
The hanging judge.
The hanging judge, they called him. They said, she said, you'll never get past this, judge. I said, good. Put me out Long Bay, I love it. Right? When I go before the judge, he's got his head down. Release this man on his own recognizance and take his passport. That was it. Threw me out. Next thing, I'm standing in a tuxedo with red dancing shoes on and a cowboy hat. Right? My shirt was a dress shirt with the blood stained all over it, which the coppers were very interested in that, what it was. Right? And the royal insignia on the back, politely, on the shirt. The next thing, I'm thrown out on the street. 8th of October, it was.
1996.
The same day that Cook first shot a man in New Zealand.
Sympathetic.
the boys grabbed his sword and ran up the beach, so he got his gun and shot him.
Yeah.
First thing he done on the beach was to kill a native. Does that not give you some idea what the British are all about?
Mm.
So a kid runs off with a sword, so what?
Mm.
Yeah, so anyhow, that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. This is why they are very concerned about what I'm doing. This next thing is coming up after the blood moon. Whatever Francis has got up his sleeves is going to have something to do with the Shroud of Turin.
Oh, yes. Yes, apparently he's going to make some kind of announcement regarding the Shroud of Turin. April 2015, that dude was crapping on about. So...
we shall see. If he doesn't mention me, he's got a problem.
Mm.
It's called death.
Mm.
Stop it once is bad enough. Stop it twice is... How are we going for time, little precious one?
Oh, well, let's... we've got about 5 minutes to go. We haven't heard you singing for a while.
Well, you can do that if you want.
All right. Let's do it.
Everybody loves somebody,
Find.
and although your dreams may be few, something in your kiss keeps saying listen time.
Oh, we haven't heard the JWO Gone intro
Eh?
for a while. We haven't heard the JWO Gone intro for a while. 1 minute and 11 seconds.
JWO Gone intro. I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, that's just what I called it. You know, like the creaky door and the...
Go through.
haven't heard that for a while. We have to remind everybody. I'll add it to the deck and green, green.
I'll set up the pool table.
Okie dokie. Da 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 da. I know. Oh, that I could sing. Here we go.
The Jews come out in search of blood. They terrorize your neighborhood. And if any child should be found, they slit their throats and drink it down. But the gladly martial hour is close at hand to rid the Jews from your promised land and cast them back with their hounds of hell to rot within their corpses' shell.
In a pure, loving, fun way.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, that's so it goes. Some things are meant to be. So take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help
the Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net.
Okay, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Later, guys.